Hello to all you Virgos, and I had forgotten to put on a bit of light there. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for May 2016, and let's have a look at what the planets are doing. Now, it is not very different from April, actually, so it is a bit of a continuation of what is going on. And for Virgos, it's actually quite interesting. It's quite interesting because your ruler Mercury is making fantastic aspects. So I want to talk about that. Then I want to talk about Jupiter-Saturn square. And last but not least, the full moon, who is quite significant as well, especially for you, being a mutable sign. So let's get started with your ruler, which is Mercury is in Taurus. And as I said in the last video in April, this Mercury retrograde is a bit less stressful because it touches beautiful energies, beautiful trines with Jupiter and Pluto. So that makes it, especially for you Virgos, also an earth sign, quite interesting with the Taurian Mercury there. Which means that there is a good flow in those earthly elements, and for you Virgos it's actually also happening. So that is also on the material side, so it should be positive on a real way, in some way. Now for you the Pluto is in the 5th house of self-expression, the Mercury is in the 9th house of your broader view upon life, your hopes, your opinions, your philosophies, and then there is Jupiter in your sign. So these are all quite positive. These are the fire houses. So it is like getting real in your creativity. That's keyword for the Virgo. Still in the month of May. So if you are working in a field where you need creativity, it's a good thing because you can make it real. The combination of fire and earth is so interesting because the fire makes sure that you have the vision and the earth makes sure that it happens. So so that's good for you Virgos. For you Virgos, it's also seen as a lot with sports people who are doing a lot of sports, and who are very good at it. You see that combination of earth and fire, which now you have in May. And Mercury goes direct as well. So around the 20th of the month. So actually, it's around the time of the 23rd that Mercury goes direct. But so around that time and after that, you will find more clearance. Things become way clearer when it comes to how you believe in life as well. What you believe, what you're not believing, it becomes all clearer for you. And that has a knock-on effect on all different areas of your life, relationships, work, etc. So the mind is so important, not only for you Virgos, but because it's making such a good aspect. And the mind is working well when it goes direct Mercury there and trining Jupiter and Pluto. It shows that because of the positive thoughts and of the confident thoughts, which for you Virgo is such an enrichment to have Jupiter in your sign, the planet of confidence. And when it's clicking with your mind, you feel more empowered, let's put it that way. So that's good in general for you Virgos out there. Now, and it's the whole month. It's throughout the whole month. This good energy of feeling more confident than usual, of feeling very much in your element, because it's your element, isn't it, you Virgos? But what else? There is the Jupiter in a square to Saturn, which is perfect around the 26th of the month, but you feel it the whole month. Jupiter squares Saturn, and Jupiter is in your sign. Saturn is in the bottom of your chart, which is your core. You could say, which is not only your family, your roots, Saturn there in the 4th house, but it's also what you are all about. So there is a clash. A square is a clash. It means there's no balance here. We need to find balance. That's a square. And balance between what? Between expansion and restriction. So there is a bit of a fight. A lot of Virgos are feeling this. Because you feel tension because of that. But ultimately, it means that you need both. You need to do a little bit of time sharing between Jupiter and Saturn. So what does it mean for you typically, Virgos? It means that Jupiter square Saturn in general means slow growth. And you Virgos, you are fine with that. I mean, in general, of course, a Virgo likes to grow slowly. They like to not miss any step. They like to grow slowly but surely. They prefer that, actually. So I think that the Virgos, in comparison with other signs, will do quite well with this square, because they know that in order to grow, you need to work a little bit on yourself, and you need to have your boundaries and know your boundaries, but still also create some space to grow and to make mistakes. That's not a thing that Virgos really like, do they? I mean, being a Virgo myself, I know how hard it is to accept that you make mistakes, and you grow from that the most. So I'm certainly not suggesting make a lot of mistakes. What I'm suggesting is growth, expansion from yourself, because Jupiter is within you. Fantastic. But slowly but surely, take your time. But again, even if you would have, like me, a fiery moon in Aries, for instance, which is very impulsive, which is not about I want to grow. I want to grow slowly here. Even that, this energy is so supportive for you Virgos. So whatever you want to achieve, you Virgo out there, whether it is a relationship with you in the first house, Jupiter there, or whether it is your destiny, your path that is related to work, go ahead, but be real. Be real, feet on the ground, be a true Virgo, feet on the ground, but being open to grow and to put some emphasis on you. I cannot stress that enough with the North Node in your sign. You Virgos out there, you need to be a bit more selfish. You need to look at you. You need to spend a bit more time at you towards yourself. So that's the North Node still being in your sign. And then, so this is very important on the areas of... I have my responsibilities here. I am a bit fearful for growth, but on the other hand, it is now to step forwards and to plan. To plan and to be strategic with the things that you want to accomplish. So the Mars is still in retrograde. It's still in Sagittarius, in that 4th house. It goes into your 3rd house on the very end of the month, but I'll talk about that in June. So your emphasis will be a bit more about deeply understanding, and don't you Virgos like that? So, but the main thing is, don't give up growing, you Virgos, because all is retrograde. No, it's actually standing still. Maybe I will do things a bit differently. That's a good time for that. Especially when it relates to you, your path in life, other people, and your home life, your responsibilities. Last but not least, there is a full moon in Sagittarius, and I want to talk about it because it's just before Mercury goes direct, so it's linked with you. And that full moon is also in that 4th house, and it with Mars and with Saturn, so it's quite crowded there. So there's something coming to fruition when it comes to your home area and your work. Maybe there was an imbalance lately. It is now a time that you can find a bit more balance there. The Sun is in the highest point of your horoscope during that full moon together with Vesta, and Vesta is all about dedication. So a lot of Virgos will try to find a balance between dedication towards their work, but also with a sensitivity and desires that has to do with your family, that has to do with what you want in life. The moon with Mars is really about what you desire truly and going from there. So maybe some Virgos will want to work at home. For instance, and by that being able to dedicate towards their work, which is that Sun there in Gemini in the 10th house, but also being having your responsibility at home, taking care of the kids or whatever. So there can be a bit of tension first, but around the 26th, that is resolved. So having said that, quite a good month for the Virgos. I like it in general for you, but of course, don't forget these are general horoscopes. I certainly do. Why do I do these horoscopes? I do these horoscopes so that you see a bit of how I work, but mostly I do it because I want people to know a bit more about astrology, to maybe, oh yeah, that's quite interesting, I want to learn a bit more about that, so that it doesn't, is something that, you know, people say, what the hell is astrology? Thank you very much, you Virgos, for listening. I wish you all the best. Have a great month and see you next month. Bye-bye.